Yo, everyone, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing a player review on Wilson Odobert. Okay, this is a player that he looks incredible. I'm not going to lie, a future stars card. As you can see from the screenshot here, I only managed to get 3 games, and if you saw the video earlier, I kind of explained it. I'll give you a really quick summary. I'm starting to get back into FC26, and I want to give myself a goal of making 2 player reviews a day. So for the first day, I wasn't able to get too much gameplay, and I didn't want to not make a video. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to make a video anyways. Even though it's not going to have gameplay, I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts of the players because I had enough time. I know 3 games doesn't seem like a lot, but for me, it was enough to grasp how good the player is. And as you can see from the stats, crazy goals, crazy assists from 3 games. So we're going to go through, break down the stats, also just give like a deep preview of the card, everything about it, player that it can link up with, players to compare it with, etc. And just my overall thoughts. So let's get into it, starting off with the base stats here, okay? First of all, 80,000 coins. So we're going to go through and have a look at other players with that. But as you can see, you can play in the left mid, the right wing, the left wing, and the striker. In terms of versatility, really good. I actually think that this card is probably best as a striker. Based on his playstyles, he's just incredible as a striker. He's got the finesse shot, plus the low driven. Also got the game changer if you want to go for a little trivella. Got the quick step for that extra pace. Got technical for the dribbling, tick attacker, and whip pass. So not bad as a winger, but I just think it's a great striker. 4-star as well. Really solid. So for me, I definitely would go for a striker. If you look at the GG ratings here, you can see the highest is going to be as a winger, plus. But I can use to wait. Let me see. How does this one work? Oh, okay, so yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. It's just kind of like a cool thing to look at. But anyways, I think for me, yeah, I think I prefer him as a striker. I mean, 94 pace is nothing to joke around with as a winger. It's not bad at all, but I don't know. I just think I don't know. I like him as a striker, especially being 6 foot as well. I think he's got decent like strength as well. Just kind of like holding up the ball. He felt nice. He felt nice as a striker, and he scored a shit ton of goals. So I guess that's why I like him as a striker. Gonna go through it. Let's break down his card. Okay, so like I mentioned, quick step, I mentioned through the playstyles already. What I'm gonna do here is talk about his links. Okay, so one massive thing why I think he's a really fun card is he's actually from the Premier League. Okay, you're linked with Spurs, and he's French. So as you can see here, just some really good players to get those super hyperlinks to, right? So look at that. Club and Nation, we're not really going to use any of these cards, but if you look here, like these French players from the Premier League, you're going to get some really solid cards. I mean, of course, it's literally one of the best nations in the game. So you're going to get some proper solid cards. So if you have like a Saliba in your team, you're going to get a green link. If you've got the LaCroix in your team, maybe an Infomeka TK, you got something like a Cherky or a Euro, like you're going to get a really strong card there. Then you go to the club as well. And I know Spurs aren't having the best year right now, but let's just say you got a Van de Ven or something like that. Like you're gonna have a really good card to go with that. Maybe an Udogie, especially for gauntlets, right? If you're looking for that chemistry, great card. French, again, you got so many cards there, and Premier League, I mean, there's so many cards we don't even need to go through. Okay, let's have a look at the just the comments before we go through a couple of breakdowns and a couple of comparisons. So holy card, go with potential. So a lot of people are happy with this type of card, and yeah, I just think it was really good so far. What I wanted to do now was actually do this. I'm going to compare strikers. Okay, I'm going to do strikers. I'm going to do Premier League strikers, just so you have like a good basis. Oh, so I'm going to do Premier League strikers. Okay, and what I'm going to do price range, I'm going to put 60,000 and 90,000. Okay, and we're going to get a couple of places to compare it to. So this is kind of like the bracket that we're looking at, but we'll do 100,000 and see if there's anyone in this kind of range. So as you can see right here, I'm going to put this Odobert card, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare him to some of these cards that I think are maybe similar, and I'm going to give a rating and stuff like that. So I'm going to compare to Madueke. Who else could I think is probably good? I'll say Madueke and Ekitike. I'll do that. So let's do Madueke. Actually, let's do Madueke right there. Okay, boom. And then instead of doing Premier League, let's actually leave the Premier League and see what other league we can go with. Let's just leave the Premier League, see what other striker there is. So we're going to go with French here, because I think for me, it's also about the chemistry as well, what they offer. So if you guys are looking for similar players, I want to give you guys maybe some options. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with Pigeon as well, the icon, okay? Because I've actually used a card and it was pretty good. So let's just do that. Perfect, okay? So we'll do that one. Okay, perfect. off the base here, right, what we're looking at is just from the 3 cards, what we're really looking at is to see if this card is worth it as a striker compared to maybe someone else with similar chemistry or similar nation. Just see where we're kind of going with our bearings. Okay, so in terms of versatility, as you can see, you have so many. Can be right foot 4-star 4-star, which is, I think, is the bare minimum, as you can see from here, which is, you know, that's absolutely fine. Then we're going to go across right now. We're going to go through in terms of the actual stats. Quickstep is good. I do like the fact that Madueke has a finesse shot plus. I think that's really good as well. Just to be able to get that finesse shot in the box, I think is really, really nice. I would probably use him as a striker as well as Pigeon. Pigeon has acrobat, which is kind of useless, to be honest with you. As the main plates are plus, a little bit useless. I think Quickstep is good, and where I think could benefit a little bit on the wing, so I wouldn't mind you using him as a winger, but again, I think he's really nice up front, especially like just maybe like slowing the ball down, taking a boom quick heavy touch. He's good to go. Okay, gonna keep going through. In terms of stats, you can see right here, he actually has a lot more in-game stats than both players. Not a lot more, but he has a lot more. He has more in-game stats, less face stats than Madueke. He's gonna have more pace than both of them, which for me is a big positive, because I'm looking at pace very close to Madueke. They're shooting. This is where you're gonna look at for a striker to see where he kind of stands, and as you can see, he's not bad. Pigeon definitely has better finishing and stuff like that, but it's not bad. It's competitive. He's got kind of high 80s in the finishing. I think where, you know, for a striker, you're probably getting let down a little bit is probably the playstyle pluses. I think I would like a finesse or a low driven plus. Besides that, it's okay. It's not bad. You go to the passing, and here's where you can really see he has a lot more in his locker, right? So you can see the passing and dribbling, he has a lot more. Looking at this now kind of makes me think he wouldn't do bad as a winger as well, especially with the whipped pass, as well, and the quick step plus. He definitely wouldn't do bad maybe on the left or something, and, you know, beating the man on the wing. So definitely not a bad card for a winger. You can see it's great passing, and dribbling has so much more. I think the dribbling is where you can, it depends on you as a player. Do you like do you like your strikers dribbling? Do you like to play more flat formations? I was actually playing a 4-3-1-2, so I liked a lot of like 1-2 passes, which again, as you can see here, worked out really well. 86 short passing, 86 long passing, really nice passing. Also has a tick attacker playstyle, which could be something you guys use. I forgot to mention he is 6 foot as well, so one thing I like to do personally, the reason I use him as a striker, his build-up play was really good. I used to hold the ball up, do some passes, and it just felt solid, you know. So I think that's not a bad option at all if you try to do that. And then we keep going down. What else have we got? We're going to have our physical. As you can see, quick step plus. They both have quick step, but he has quick step plus just for that extra speed boost. When comparing, I think they're pretty similar. I really do. I think you look at these type of cards, it's pretty similar. I just think that maybe Odobert has a little bit more as like, I think it's a little bit more than Madueke, to be honest with you. I think Madueke's card looks nice, but I don't know. There's something about Odobert's card I just think is slightly better. I feel like the one big advantage Madueke does have over Odobert is probably his finesse shot. Besides that, there's not really much to it. I do like the Odobert card. I think it's very versatile. From my experience using him in the couple of games I did, he was shooting really well, man. He was shooting really well. He scored a lot of his goals. I think he was a solid player. I'm going to give him an 8. But what I want to do before we kind of end the review is I do want to look at this, just like that, and see if there's any other cards that are maybe like a lot better. I was using this Beaver Jones card, and to be honest, I do think her card was better than Odobert's. That was something I did notice, that her card was like incredible. Her stats were a little bit better. So in terms of the two, I think she was slightly better in my opinion, and she was a bit cheaper. That's someone that could kind of stand out there. If there's any other cards we're looking at, I think this Shaw card is really solid as well. I also think this Mateus Mania card is good as well. I think it just comes down to links. You know, you got a couple of options. Those are the 4 main cards I would compare him to if I was looking at getting Odobert. Probably be those type of cards there. Someone like Rodman I would use on the wing as a right winger. In terms of out and out striker, even Mane's got the low driven, as you can see there. So I do think that there's a couple of other players, even James, again, really solid card, very similar price for 10,000 more. I think you get a really good striker, got finesse shot plus as well with a 5-star, is it a weak foot or skill move? I mean, she's got a 5-star weak foot. So I look at this card like it's good. I do think, though, there's some better options, to be honest with you. If I really dug in, I think there's some better options. I think the biggest thing is probably the playstyle. I don't quite love this card as a winger yet, But I do think as a striker, there's some better cards, which is where I'm kind of at. So I'll give it a 7.5. It's a good card. There's just a couple of options where like these players here, I probably would. I just think playstyle wise, I think I prefer some other cards. That's the main thing, because it's a weird one, you know. I just think I prefer some other cards. Like now that I'm going back and forward, I think you might have to use him as a winger. He's got so much pace. His best attributes are probably going to come from the wing. So I'm changing my mind a little bit. The only thing is, this card, like as a winger, it isn't very agile. That's again where the problem comes in. I know he's really fast, but he's also 6 foot. So that's where I feel like I preferred him as a striker, because he's more like built as a striker. I think having a winger 6 foot, it can be a little bit difficult. He doesn't feel as rapid as his card maybe describes. Those are kind of my overall thoughts. It's a good card. Yeah, hopefully it helps you either make a decision of buying this card, or helps you kind of open your mind up if you're using this card of what to do. Hopefully that was the case. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys for another one tomorrow. Peace.